Urwa radiallahu anh was traveling from Medina to Damascus, so he could meet the caliph of that time, Al-Walid bin Abdul Malik. During the journey, he got this small wound on his foot and it started worsening rapidly. They call it akala in Arabic, and in English it's called gangrene. It's a disease where the flesh basically starts rotting and the poison begins spreading through the body. So the doctors told him, the poison is spreading fast upwards, and if we don't amputate your leg immediately, it's going to spread through your whole body and you'll lose your life. Now, back then, anesthesia like numbing medications did not exist. So the doctors advised him that the pain of cutting the leg would be unbearable and completely beyond endurance. So they said you should drink something intoxicating, like wine or some herb, so you lose your senses and don't feel the pain. And Urwa Raziallahu anh strictly refused. And he said these incredibly beautiful words. He said, I can never take a single sip of anything that would make me oblivious and stop me from remembering my Lord. My body belongs to Allah, and I will hand it over to Him in my full senses. Now, the doctors were stressed. How do they fix his leg? And a person can literally die from sheer agony of that pain. So Hazrat Urwa Raziallahu anh gave them this strange yet beautiful solution. He said, instead of giving me an intoxicant, let me pray. When I stand before my Lord in prayer, and you see me go into sujood, or when you see I am completely immersed in my worship, then cut my leg. And at that moment, my connection with Allah becomes so strong that I don't feel any worldly pain. My connection with the world is cut off. When he made his intention for prayer and turned his focus entirely to Allah, the doctor started their work. They cut the leg with the saw. The pain of cutting through bone and flesh was agonizing, but amazingly, there wasn't even a wrinkle of pain on Hazrat Urwa's face. He did not even make a sound, nor did he break his prayer. And when the leg was cut off, according to the medical practices of that time, to stop the bleeding, they poured boiling hot oil to seal the veins. The extreme agony of that hot oil, that's when he finally fainted and lost consciousness. When I first heard this story, I was shocked. The first time I heard it, it was from my mom, and I used to think, maybe someone exaggerated the story a bit. Maybe it did not happen actually like that. Because how is that even possible? How can someone get their leg cut off and just not realize it while praying? But then I realized this wasn't just one isolated incident. Ali Raziallahu anh during a battle, an arrow was stuck in his foot and it went so deep into his flesh that like it tore through the flesh and got stuck right into his bone. And when it was lodged in there, whenever they tried to pull it out, he would be in severe, unbearable pain. So as soon as it hurts, they'd stop. And then Hazrat Ali Raziallahu anh told them, let me stand in prayer. And when I go into sujood, pull it out then. And that's exactly what they did. When he went into prostration, people yanked the arrow out and the blood started flowing. But he finished his prayer, and after saying the salam to the end of the prayer, he asked, did you guys took the arrow out? He did not even felt it. What kind of prayer was this that literally cut these peoples off from the world? And I mean, these were the Sahaba. They did not see the unseen, like when the Prophet of Allah used to pray, he could see heaven and hell. So we could say, okay, yeah, that's why he was so lost and completely cut off from the world. But the Sahaba were normal humans like us. So how did the Sahaba pray like this? Look, they were human, right? What was so different about their salah? Why did they get completely cut off from the world? And why can't we feel that? And I needed the answer desperately. But before I give you the answer to how, let me tell you another story. When Umar Raziallahu anh was standing in prayer, a Jewish man struck him with a poisoned dagger, and he stabbed him so many times that he collapsed unconscious. People immediately caught the attacker, but Umar Raziallahu anh was unconscious, and he did not regain consciousness the entire day. So when he finally woke up during the day, do you know what the very first thing he asked as he got up? He asked, "Did the people pray?" Meaning, because the prayer hadn't been completed when he fainted. Did the people finish the prayer? That was his thought. That was his first thought. But whenever I think about making excuses regarding prayer, one event always comes to my mind. Always. If you ever just imagine the situation of Karbala, arrows are raining down from all sides, bodies are scattered everywhere, and the water is cut off, food is gone, and it's the desert burning hot. Imagine this scene. And in the midst of all that, Hussein Raziallahu anh, because it was the time of Zohar, he asked them to stop the battle for a little while so he could perform the Salah. They gave this answer to the beloved, pampered grandson of Prophet of Allah. They said, "Your prayers aren't even accepted." So he replied, "Curse be upon you. That's our prayers aren't accepted. The prayers of Ahle Bayt aren't accepted. It is only through our household that you even received the Salah in the first place." That was his reply. And then half the people stood forward to protect them, and the other half prayed, and then they prayed, and then the rest stood guard. But their arrows did not stop. They kept firing. They thought this is great opportunity. While they are praying, we can martyr even more of them. What kind of scene must that have been? When a rain of arrows is falling and on the ground Hussein Raziallahu anh, along with his companions and with the people who were the most exalted family in the world, the family of the highest virtue, the Ahle Bayt. And when they were prostrating on the soil of Karbala, doing sujood on the dirt of Karbala, even the angels in the sky must have been weeping seeing that sight. Bodies covered in blood, severely wounded, and even in that state, they made sujood to Allah. It showed that prayer has to be prayed no matter what. When we hear these stories, we say, "Oh, well, these are the stories of the people of the past. Does this happen now?" In 2023 earthquake that hit Turkey, so many people who were buried under the rubble for days and days, and when they were pulled out, people asked them, like there was this one man's interview, and people asked him, "Your face looks so fresh. How did you spend so much time down there?" And he said, "I used to pray right there under the rubble. I couldn't move, so I prayed with gestures. And when I prayed, I would be completely at peace." And putting all those stories aside, the Muslims of Gaza, when they were praying Jummah on the top of the rubble of a shattered mosque and aid started dropping from the sky, no one broke their prayer. The world watched that scene and they reminded us of Sahaba. We used to think no one could ever make sacrifices like Sahaba, but we saw that our Muslim brothers and sisters in Gaza showed us how it's done. They showed us today that the Lord is still the same, the Salah is still the same. We are hungry, we are thirsty, our homes are destroyed, but we will not break our Salah. But why don't we feel anything? Why does prayer has no effect on us? Why is it like this? I wanted to pray like them. I want to have that some khushu in my salah so I could feel the peace and the tranquility these people feel. Took me so many years to find the answer to this question. I did not even realize for so many years that I had this problem. At first, I did not even realize that praying having an effect on your life was even a thing. I just felt like I had to pray. And how should it be prayed? I never even asked myself that. And when I finally got the answer, I realized that praying like that was actually very easy. If you hear how we can make our prayers so beautiful that we too like Sahaba, not 100% obviously, but if we start praying even 1 or 2% like them, our lives will change. But how did my own journey with prayer start? Looking at me right now, you might think, "Oh, she must be someone who always prayed 5 times a day and she's very pious." I've been taught the Salah, but I did not pray it. I only prayed when I had exams just to make dua so I could top in my class. But other than that, I did not pray. Up until 8th grade, I did not pray. My mom used to get so angry telling me to pray that sometimes she'd literally stand right next to me to force me to pray. And I was so stubborn. I was like, I would just pretend that I was praying. I wasn't actually praying at all. I was that fiercely stubborn. And that one day, when I was visiting my aunt's house, I saw that she was praying regularly. She never said to me anything about the prayer, like you should pray, or she would just teach me about the Deen casually. She'd tell me stories, share historical events. She never forced me. She just used to tell me all these stories with so much love. The stories of Sahaba, the prophets, and she was just teaching me about the morals and character through these stories. But amidst all that, one day I remember it vividly. It was the time of Dhuhr, and we were all playing badminton in the garden. I was at my aunt's house, as I told you, and there were three or four of us playing badminton. And while praying, I don't know how. Honestly, I don't understand it myself, but it was just a mercy from Allah. I just said, I'm going to pray and come back. I put the badminton racket down, I went, made wudu, prayed Dhuhr, and from that day to this day, I have never left or missed a single prayer, not intentionally. I mean, if I happen to oversleep or something else happened, or now hearing this, you probably think, oh, she must be so pious. I mean, it's been so many years. I could probably say that for about 15 years now, I've been praying consistently without missing a single day and without intentionally skipping a single prayer. But the reality is actually quite far from that. I was praying, yes, but it had no effect on my life. It was just go do wudu, make the intention, pray, say salam, and then immediately get back being absorbed in my own life. But that isn't the kind of prayer that changes your life. Prayer is supposed to do something that transforms you. There is an ayah in the Quran, the meaning of which I only truly understood after hearing the story of Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anh. He was traveling once when he received the news that his son had passed away. He immediately stopped his journey, got down from the camel, spread his prayer mat right there, and prayed 2 rakats. After finishing, he recited that verse from the Quran: O believers, seek comfort in patience and prayer. Allah is truly with those that are patient. The secret to everything in our lives is hidden in this one verse. I'll come back to it in a bit, but first, I want to tell you this. The real issue is that we never even notice that our prayer isn't right. We have just made it this one thing we have to do. And then I heard a story that changed my life. It made me realize why I wasn't feeling anything in my salah. I have shared the story before, and it holds so much meaning for me. A few years ago, there was this great scholar who went abroad for his studies, and he used to write letters to his mother every month. Back then, we did not have phones like we do now. So when he wrote those letters, his mother did not know how to read or write. So when a letter would arrive, she would get incredibly excited and she'd wait for it. As soon as it came, she'd run to her neighbors, and when the neighbor read it out loud, tears would just start flowing down from her face. She couldn't stop them. Afterwards, she would collect those letters and hold them to her chest, kiss them. She lived for those letters. But one day a letter arrived, and she went to her neighbor's house, but the neighbor wasn't home. So she came back. Now she was sitting, waiting for her grandson to come home so he could read that letter to her. Somewhere in the middle of all that waiting, she just did not know what to do with herself. When her grandson finally came home from school, she immediately told him, read this to me right now. As he read it, the tears started falling again. But by that point, she was so emotionally exhausted that she decided right then she was going to learn how to read and write. Every day, her grandson would come home from school and teach her one single word. That's how she did it. And slowly, she learned to read and write everything. After that, when the letters came, she would read them to herself. She'd read them over and over, and she would collect them, hold them close to her heart, and she would just kiss those letters. She would read them again and again because now she can. If I asked you how much that mother loved her son, you'd say she loved him so much. Now, let me ask you that same question. There is a letter sent to you by the Lord of this world. Do you love your Lord? Because when I heard that story, I had to ask myself, Allah has sent a letter to you and to me too. He sent one to all of us. And how many of us actually read that letter? How many of us try to understand it? How many of us hold it close to our hearts? That one question, do I actually love Allah the way I claim to? It completely changed the trajectory of my life. I realized that the reason there was no soul in my salah was because I did not even know the one I was praying to. When we talk to someone, we know who we are talking to. If we don't know them, we can't truly understand the importance of what is being said. I realized that if I don't know Allah, how could I ever pray the way those people prayed? The Sahaba. They prayed like that because they know their Lord. We don't, so we can't. And that was the beginning of my journey where I found the scholar that actually changed your life. And the first time I actually prayed the way I should pray, my whole body was shaking from feeling the power and majesty of Allah. And to get to that point, I started by trying to understand how Salah even reached us. I also started doing few things that changed my Salah, obviously. And we know it can never be like Sahaba. But I tried and I felt a massive difference in my Salah. So think about it. All other commands like fasting, Hajj, Zakat, every single command in Islam was sent down by Allah from the heavens through the tongue of our Prophet. But when Allah wanted to give us the gift of the Salah, Allah took His Prophet away from the entire world all the way up to the heavens and then gave him the Salah. Do you know the reason behind that? It's because prayer is meant to cut you off from the world and connect you directly to Allah. It's our medium, our connection. So I started learning the meaning of everything we say in Salah. But it is not a regular advice you hear online. Every Sunday morning, what I do, I learn the meaning, I write it down, and then I visualize it. During that exercise, I imagine myself performing those visuals and saying those words to Allah. But the problem was when I tried to fix all my salah at once, tahajjud, everything else, I could only keep it up for a little while and slowly the motivation would die down. I could not even pray the way I wanted to. And at the same time, I started reading the Quran with Tafseer. I started reading it in a way where I could truly know Allah, feel Him. I have talked about the details of this in episode 2, how I read the Quran so it feels like Allah is actually talking to you. It's a very specific method, and if I explain it here, it will take too long. So, if you want to learn that, definitely check out episode 2. So, what I did next was I decided after listening to the scholar that instead of trying to fix every single prayer at once, I would just start with one. For me, that was tahajjud, and that was the time when I had enough space to pray slowly and peacefully. I would pray tahajjud very slowly, and I'd imagine Allah is right in front of me. That's I'm talking to Him, and while doing that, I made so many du'as to Allah. I told Him that I want to feel the prayer, the one that truly cuts you off from the world and connects you to you. You can ask Allah for anything in this world, whether He gives it to you or not. He knows best. But if you ask Allah for guidance, if you ask Him, make my salah beautiful, or let me understand the Quran, or put tawakkul in my heart, He always and always gives you that. He never says no to that. And then came the day when I went out onto the terrace. I made the intention and I imagined that Allah was right there in front of me. That was the day I felt it for the first time that truly Allah is right here. My Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Worship Allah as if you're seeing Him. And if you cannot do that, then imagine that He sees you." I felt it under that dark night sky as I started tahajjud. As soon as I began with Subhanakallahumma, I recited the verses and went into sujood. My whole body was trembling. My tears wouldn't stop. I felt like the Lord of the universe, I am talking to Him. I am talking to the Lord who created this entire world. I am talking to Allah who loves me so much, who knows every secret in my heart. And He has the count of my heartbeats, and He knows the rhythm of my breath. He knows the blood flowing through my veins. He knows the exact number of stars swirling above my head at this moment. He knows how many fish are in the oceans right now. He knows everything. He knows the hidden pain in my heart and the tears falling from my eyes. I'm not that special, and yet my Lord knows me. He loves me. And when I prayed Salah like that, I realized obviously I don't reach that state in every single prayer, but I'm not special, and yet my Lord knows me. He loves me. When I prayed like that, I realized obviously, I don't reach that state in every single prayer, but my Salah started to get so much better after that. I actually started feeling Allah. And I noticed something else, something strange. Things that used to make me panic, things that used to stress me out so much, I started feeling so calm about them. It was like a sense of tawakkul settled in me, a peace I have never felt before. And then circumstances came into my life that were so difficult, so painful, that people watching me would say, "How are you even enduring all this?" And at that time, I did not really understand it myself, but now when I look back at the stories of Sahaba, I see a pattern. Look at Urwa radiallahu anh, when he woke up after his leg was amputated. They told him that while he was unconscious, his son had been martyred. Do you know what he said? He said, "Oh Allah, you gave me 4 sons. You took one back. You gave me 4 limbs, and you took one back. I'm happy with you because whatever you took, you gave me so much more." How do the prophets and Sahaba walk through such brutal circumstances? It's that same ayah I mentioned. Secret is there. Seek help through patience and prayer because Allah is indeed with the patience. That feeling only comes through prayer. If I think back to the hardest year of my life, those 12 months were such that even now, if I think about them, my soul shudders. And the trial, the testing, the pain, the humiliation I felt in those 12 months in my entire life, I did not feel anything, not even close to that. But how I got through those 12 months, I still can't believe how I survived. I couldn't do it. I could not bear any of that. But how did I do it? During that time, my tahajjud was non-stop. Every single day, I would sit and talk to Allah in my prayer. I would tell Him everything and then I would walk forward with a new hope. It made me a new person every day. It gave me energy and stamina and hope to move forward every day. It made me realize that this is the secret of life. But how did we completely miss it when it was right in front of us? It makes me feel so bad knowing that such a massive secret or treasure was right before our eyes. We just did not understand it. I'm telling you guys right now, and I swear by Allah, any single person among you, if you don't have children, if you don't If you are worried because you're not getting married, if you're stressed because you lack money, if you're distressed because you have a health issue, if you're worried about family, or you're struggling with your worship, or financially you're struggling, or if you're anxious about something, or whatever is bothering you, whatever is causing you stress or anxiety, the solution to every single thing is in the Salah. Why is the solution to everything is in Salah? Because when we pray that Salah, that one that connects you to Allah and cuts you off from the world, when we pray that kind of prayer, it can fix your entire life. I'm telling you. Even if you have nothing to eat, you won't even feel it because you will fulfilled by Allah. If you have very little sustenance, that little bit will have so much barakah in it by Allah. If you're sick, even in that sickness, Allah will grant you such gratitude. He will enrich your heart so much that you won't even understand what happened to you. Allah has placed a certain gravitational power in the salah. When it is prayed the way it should be prayed, your life truly changes. Then the thorns don't prick you anymore. Thorns start feeling like flower because of that connection with Allah. Maybe my words, I don't know, maybe my words just sound like an empty talk to you. I used to think the same way, but let me tell you, when you pray like that, Allah places the world at your feet. What else do you need then? Have you ever thought about how Habab Raziallahu an, Ammar Raziallahu an, Sumayya Raziallahu an, Bilal Raziallahu an, how all of them, if we look at the life of all of the Sahaba, there is one thing that is common, and that is their connection with Allah. That helped them get through everything. And right now, we see so many people suffering through mental problems, depression, anxiety. And whoever you talk to, you'll feel that so many people are just hurting. And the only reason is not that people are not praying, people are praying. But the problem is that we aren't praying the prayer that we should be praying. And I'm so amazed when I did not used to pray like this, I could never understand where the time went. Time used to pass so quickly. And now, when I look at the clock, I work, then I look at the clock again, and barely any time has passed. Literally, I feel it myself, believe me. And I'm emphasizing this so much to you all because it if you do this too, you will feel it. And no worldly problem will remain a problem in your life. It won't feel like all your problems magically disappeared. No, you will just become completely at peace. You will become content. And Allah will shape every situation or your perspective of it in such a way that everything feels okay in your life. And I used to panic a lot. Like, if something did not go according to my plan, I would panic so much. And now I don't. Allah has placed satisfaction in my heart, a deep peace. And when I think back, when I think about how I used to react before I started feeling this way, I used to get so frustrated that why isn't everything getting fixed, or why aren't getting things getting better? And now I don't feel that way. I just can't because I feel like Allah will handle everything. And you know when this started? It started when I began praying as if I was talking to Allah. Ali Raziallahu anh used to say that when I want to talk to Allah, I pray the Salah. And when I want Allah to talk to me, I read the Quran. What a profound secret is hidden in that one statement. We can talk to Allah. He isn't a Lord who does not reply. We can talk to Him, and His answer, you will always find His answer in the Quran. And how do you find it? This is what I was telling you about in episode 2. I shared some truly life changing things in there about the Quran that I learned from my own experience, and it will genuinely change your life. I see people doing a lot of ibadah, different ways, like making zikr, or I've been seeing people like recite astaghfar 10,000 times. It's very good, we should do it. I'm not saying we shouldn't. People do like set of actions that are prescribed by some scholar or from the ahadith, and they do that, and I myself have done them. Like, people say that finishing like finishing the recitation of Surah Muzammil continuously for 3 days, and many other things. I've done myself these so many times. I had completely forgotten that I hadn't even fixed my basics. I had not set my foundations. And when the foundation itself is faulty, piling luggage on top of it only weakens it. It doesn't make it stronger. And the absolute most important action in Muslim's life should just only be Salah. Then the other thing comes, all of them later on. I'll tell you step by step how can you pray like this. I just want you to understand first, and then I'll tell you step by step what to do. So the first thing is we need to bring Khushu in our Salah. We need to know who we are talking to and who is that Lord. Khushu comes from focus. So who is Allah? You need to answer this for yourself. Who is Allah to you? Creating that connection, those emotions is absolutely necessary. And how are they created? They are created when you read the Quran. And how you should read the Quran, I'll give you a little brief here that when you read the Quran, explain it to yourself out loud first and understand its meaning, the literal meaning, then the full translation, then the tafsir alongside with it, and after that, explain it out loud to yourself. What is Allah saying to me? It sounds complicated. If you listen to episode 2, it's very easy to do. I explained everything there. And in that episode, I gave really good examples and explained exactly how Allah talks us through the Quran because Quran isn't bound by time. We are constrained by time. Allah is not constrained by time. Allah is beyond time, and because He is the creator of time, so the creator Himself won't be confined within time, right? And if He is the creator of the time, then his word, because this isn't like the other divine books, the book is the literal word of Allah, the Quran is the literal word of Allah, his word is not bound by time either. This means the words of the Quran you're reading are just as relevant in this moment as they were 1400 years ago. And you will feel as if Allah is directly telling you a story or talking to you. I explained a very particular method in that episode on how you can truly feel that, and that's why I'm referring you there. Otherwise, I would just have told you here. I just don't want to gloss over it because until you understand the complete concept I explained there, you won't understand how to actually do that. So, the first thing that I want you to understand is that to know Allah, and another massive problem, another thing that ruins our salah so much is scrolling. I used to scroll so much. Like, if something bothered me or if I have any thought that troubled me, I would just start scrolling. I know you can relate to that. And I tried so many tactics. I downloaded apps, I put locks, timers, the ones that make you wait like 1 second app. I did all of it, but I would always find some way, some loophole to scroll. It's even embarrassing to tell you that. Right, I deleted Instagram and TikTok because I scrolled there normally. And then I started watching YouTube shorts, and then I deleted YouTube too. And then I realized, oh, now I started watching Snapchat, so then I deleted Snapchat too. And then I saw, okay, so there is nowhere left to scroll here. I started scrolling on shopping apps. So then I deleted those too. I'm being this raw and honest with you because we are humans and we all have flaws and we all have these tendencies inside of us. And when I deleted all of that, then I had nothing to scroll on. And when that happened, at first I got extremely restless. I would pick up my phone and look for an app, but there was no app. Because if you notice, when you delete your apps, you'll realize how randomly you unlock your phone, just automatically go straight to the app. When I deleted those apps, 2 months later, slowly, these really strange things started happening in my life. Because when your brain is occupied with something all the time, it literally cannot think. It's like being hijacked, right? You just can't process your own thoughts. So when I actually started thinking again, slowly my attention shifted back to my solar. You should try it. And if it helps you, like 1 second app, which locks it for a second, or apps where you can set a time limit for your apps, if that works for you, then do it. And I had to take slightly extreme measures because I had been scrolling for too long and it was affecting my life really badly. So I wanted to cut it out completely. It's not like I completely deleted all my social media accounts. All my accounts were on my system, on my laptop, because I use them for work. Anyway, what happened in my life because of all of this? When the scrolling ended, slowly a sense of present moment started developing. And it's only when you feel present in the moment that you can truly connect, right? So what was the first step I told you? You need to build connection with Quran using the specific method I explained in episode 2. You can go listen to that in detail, though I have given you a bit of idea here too. Second thing is you need to look at your life. Like you have to look at your screen time. More than that, you have to look at your scrolling time. And if you do it more than 1 or 2 hours, then cut it out. And if you don't want to cut it out completely because it's your work, then schedule it. It will train your brain like, okay, this is a specific time for this. We don't have to do it all the time. Obviously, that's very hard, but just see what you can do that is best for you. And then we come to the next step, that is the salah itself. The next hack I'm going to tell you doesn't happen on the prayer mat. It's your Sunday morning. One day a week, whenever you have an hour or 30 minutes, sit down, keep a paper and pen with you, open the translation of the Salah, write down the Arabic alongside the translation in your preferred language, write down the translation. So, what does writing do? It makes your neural pathway stronger and your memory retains it much better. You have to do it for a few weeks, then you stop writing. You can just like speak it out loud. What will this do? Your neural pathways will keep getting stronger, forming new connections, and it will become deeply embedded in your brain, just like you speak in your mother tongue. And the words of the prayer will start feeling exactly like that to you. So, what you do, get a pen and paper, you learn the translation, definitely write it down, write the Arabic underneath it, write the English, write the whole translation. And after that, close your eyes, go through the entire translation because you already have like the prayer memorized, right? Recite each line, close your eyes, imagine that you're saying that to Allah, Subhana Rabbi Ala. And you are saying this to Allah, you're imagining all of it, feel Allah's power, His majesty, feel everything, and then say it. And when you do this, you do it repeatedly. If you want instant result, then do it 3 times a week. Literally, it works like magic. And then repeat it. Try to feel it. And when you feel it, literally, I cannot tell you this half hour that you give, it will affect every single problem in your life. And I'm telling you, all your worldly worries will vanish when you give this 30 minutes. Because these 30 minutes will start reflecting in your salah, which is going to affect your whole life. So you don't practice this on the prayer mat. You have to practice this beforehand because when you get on the prayer mat, your focus shouldn't be, am I getting the meaning right? Am I focusing properly? Or is this the correct translation? You have to practice this by writing it down so many times and embed meaning so deeply in your mind. This is the meaning. This is what I'm saying. I am imagining that I am talking to Allah. All off your prayer mat. So when you finally step onto the prayer mat, you will naturally be able to do it all. And at that moment, your focus will solely be on Allah. Alright, so let's recap. What was our first step? You need to know Allah through a specific way of reading the Quran. Second thing, you control your scrolling, reduce it, cut it off, whatever works for you. Third thing is every Sunday or any day of the week, you sit down, practice the translation of the prayer, say it out loud, imagine you're talking to Allah, and do it enough times, it becomes second nature. Okay, so what's the next step? Next step is when you are actually in Salah. You have reached the prayer mat, now you're on the prayer mat, just fix one thing. I used to try to fix so many things at once, it would all fail. Then I started focusing on just one thing, the movement, and I intentionally slowed down everything. Like I was just flowing through every moment. I carefully set my limbs in every position and I intentionally relaxed myself. Because of all that scrolling, my brain has become so wired that I would move very fast. And at first, there is a lot of resistance in your body. You will have to bear that for a while. Then, after the salah, now you must be thinking, I've given you too many tips. I'll give you a method at the end of that will make you say, okay, I can do all of this very easily. After you have prayed a prayer like that, Allah's doors are open. He's so happy with his servant when they pray like that. The connection is open. So these are all the steps. Now you'll say how I am going to remember all these things and how am I going to do them. I'll tell you, instead of trying to fix all the salah at once, choose one prayer in the day. Perfect that one prayer, like this is the one prayer you will want to pray properly, and that is the hack. That is the best hack. For me, that was usually tahajjud. For you, it could be Fajr, or it could be Zohar, or it could be Isha, which is the common time for most people when no one will disturb you so much. Let me tell you guys, even if you just spend 2 minutes on one rakah, that prayer is good salah. Pick one and in that one prayer, apply what you practiced on Sunday, and that salah should be your absolute best. People say you should think, a lot of big scholars say this, that you should think This is my last prayer. That thought doesn't work for me. I prefer to think this will be my best prayer because I can't relate to the idea this is my last prayer because I get so much fear and so much anxiety when I tell myself that. So, what do you have to do? You just have to pray one prayer like this in a day. And you know what happens when I pray tahajjud like that? I naturally end up putting a little more effort into Fajr too. Then, like you start to feel so much sweetness, and you know what you should start doing right now for the next 4 weeks? Just take out 30 minutes or an hour a week. If you can give more, then great. Take it out, just start understanding the meaning of the Quran exactly the way I told you. And I'm telling you guys, once you pray that salah, once you actually feel that it's like when you actually feel its sweetness, what is going to happen in your life, you will literally say, I want to pray every single prayer like this. Because I'm telling you, in today's world, we are just surrounded from all sides. We are surrounded by so many things that are constantly, perpetually making us restless. I prayed for 15 years and then I finally found a salah like this. I don't want you to spend that many years of your life just trying to figure out how to talk to Allah. And it's not just you, the people around you. When they see you praying like this, they get inspired. They start wanting to pray like that too. There's this saying like, love Allah so much, having such deep love for Him that whoever looks at you, they end up falling in love with Allah. I've actually seen people like that, people who love Allah so deeply that when you look at them, you can't help but wonder what makes this person feel this way. So you will also start feeling that love for Allah. And seeing you, other people will feel in their hearts too. So, what is my goal moving forward from here? So, for Tahajjud, I've actually started this new thing. I've set this goal for myself where I want to stand in Tahajjud for 1 full hour, meaning I want to pray just 2 rakats of Tahajjud but stretch them out over an hour. I know it's a huge goal for me and it's really difficult, but it's not impossible. And I'm slowly increasing the time. Every 2, 3 weeks, I add about 5 minutes. I just, I really want to do all this. I have such deep passion and desire for it, and I feel like if I start doing this, I will just be so much closer to Allah. And I want to feel those exact emotions that Sahaba used to feel. So maybe when I stand for a whole hour in front of Allah and I call out to Him, and I'm certain that Allah will definitely grant me that. Lately, just because of heavy workload, I haven't been able to sleep early, and because of that, I can't even wake up early. So when I don't wake up early, I only have a tiny bit of time left. I do pray tahajjud in that time, but what ends up happening that I'm just so terribly sleepy, I just can't focus at all. So the next time you step onto the prayer mat, I want you to feel that you have come to meet Allah. Look, when you are in the world, you know how it is. If we know there's someone with a really high rank or going to some super important meeting, we put on our absolute best clothes. We prepare ourselves so much, we groom ourselves, and then we show up. There is this really beautiful thought that always strikes me when we are about to present ourselves before the Lord of the universe. What kind of preparation do we make for that meeting? Or do we just show up in front of Allah just like that? If you get dressed up and prepared for the people of this world, then to meet our true beloved, how should we be preparing? So keep this one thing in mind. The next time you pray, the next time you stand on the prayer mat, remember that Lord and truly feel that He is right there in front of you. And you see the Noor, you feel the Noor, the light. Our Prophet said when person says Allahu Akbar, Allah comes right and stand in front of him. This act is so important to Allah that Allah literally comes to His servant as befits His majesty. So remember Allah in that moment. Talk to Allah. Feel Him. Think about Him. With what gaze must He be looking at you? With what love? In a way that befits His being His majesty. And then tell Him how much you love Him. When you sit in the shahad after the final sujood, make all your du'as to Allah. That is the time when Allah is ready to give His servant absolutely everything. It's such an opportunity because in sujood, a human being is absolute closest to Allah. So, all these worldly worries that are stressing you out right now, do you know why Allah created them? So that you would search for Allah. So that this restlessness in your heart forces you to open those paths, forces you to open those doors, which will finally lead you to the path where you can walk and actually meet Allah. I just want you to meet Allah, to stand on the prayer mat and call out to Him, cry in front of Him, talk to Him. Just talk to your Allah. And then in this world, even on thorns, even on the beds of thorns, you will feel like you're resting on flowers. Then even a dry bread would taste like a delicious warm meal to you. And then even when the entire world turns its back on you, you will stand firm. Do you know why? Because your strength will be that Lord who created and beautified this entire universe. And that Lord loves you. And He is waiting for you, waiting for when you will come and talk to Him. May Allah grant us all the ability to act upon this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.